What is it that needs to happen to make sure that millennials are nurtured into the leadership of this church?
I think that the future of our church depends a lot on that partnership between our generations, right? And people who are already leaders, finding the people of our generation and saying, let's partner together, let's do this together. I'm going to show you how I did it, and we'll make it yours.
Yeah, nothing has made me feel compelled to come back more than the little old ladies that know my name that sit next to us in church, or the people that have watched Mary Thene grow up. Like, when people that are not in your circle of influence know your name and know who you are and know your family, that's empowering. And it makes you want to take the next step, and it makes you want to have some sort of ownership over this place too, because you feel like, oh, I'm part of this place.
Yesterday I was in the garage. Miss Val calls me. She goes, I have to tell you something. I was like, what's going on? She goes, I don't need an answer now, but I want to nominate you for deacon. And I go, wait, what? Tell me more about it. And she started telling me about it. But that kind of, pulling, folks in.
Encouragement. Believing in you.
Right.
It's fascinating how everybody's answer has something to do with a relationship.
Definitely.
That leadership, nurturing leadership, has something to do with a relationship you have with someone in this church. And I just think that's beautiful. I'm going to read kind of a composite description of what millennials are said to be, and you can react to that, yay or nay, does it catch you or not? But then I'm going to ask some questions, and we're going to move kind of the arc of this conversation is going to move from very light, fun, kind of silly, just lighthearted stuff to get us moving, to deeper kind of your station in life, and what do you know now that you didn't know then, and what are you seeing? And then ultimately the end game is to get you talking about church, to get you talking about your faith, your experiences with Christ, your vision for the future of the church that's coming and all. And I'm going to prompt you with some questions like that. So, yeah. And the idea is just answer back to me, answer to each other. If somebody says something that you want to react to, just have the dialogue back and forth, okay? Just natural. Cool? All right. So we'll start by, let me just read a kind of a description of what the experts tell us your world is like, and then you react to it. All right. Millennials came of age during a time of extraordinary acceleration, technologically, socially, and culturally. They grew up with analog childhoods and digital adulthoods, straddling the line between the pre-internet world and the age of social media. Their early years were marked by 9/11, school shootings, climate crises, and the Great Recession, leaving many with a deep sense of disillusionment and a search for authenticity in a world full of noise. Often called the burnout generation, millennials inherited institutions in decline and an economic system that hasn't always returned on its promises. Yet this generation is resilient, resourceful, and deeply value-driven. They are entrepreneurs, creators, and advocates for justice and inclusion. Spiritually, millennials are not necessarily leaving faith. They're leaving forms of the church that feel inauthentic and performative. They long for a faith that is embodied, communal, and justice-minded, not just preached on Sundays. Millennials are not cynical as much as they are allergic to inauthenticity. I love that phrase. They may question, deconstruct, or walk away, but many are still seeking. They hunger for community with substance, leadership with humility, and a church that actually practices what it preaches. What do you think?
It's pretty good.
Is that a pretty decent high level? Yeah? 30,000
like that
foot.
empire.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I would
Well,
like
that's
to
a
have
wrap.
that. I would like to have that printed out.
That's right. Yeah. It's not bad, right? Not a bad bio for your line of sight in the world, I hope. I think that's good. All right, so let me start us with just a few fun questions. What is the TV show or the movie that is the quintessential millennial show or movie? What's the one that is like, that's us? What is
Saved
that?
by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell, yep. All right.
Clarissa explains it all.
Oh, also good. Also good.
How about Family Matters?
Family,
Family
Matters, which is part of
Matters, let's
TGIF.
go.
Yes,
So I would
TGIF
go
Fridays.
TGIF.
Part
yes.
of the whole bundle. Yeah, okay.
I love that.
How about
Me too.
movies? What about a movie?
Sandlot.
Okay. Yeah.
Beetlejuice?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Say it 3 times.
Nope.
No, not doing it. That's good.
Remember the Titans?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
I mean,
All right.
as we got older, for me, it was Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 6th grade. That was
7th
Titanic,
grade, yeah.
6th grade.
So, what is
Sometimes.
a song that could be the theme song of the Millennials?
I want to look at my Spotify.
I know.
Yeah, see what's
Are we
playing.
able to
Early
look at mine?
2000s.
There's so many.
Playlist.
Backstreet
Music was
Boys.
really good in our
Backstreet Boys.
adolescence. So.
Okay.
Lots of Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake.
Lots of Britney Spears.
I want to
Okay.
say rap like Biggie.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it bad to say Eminem?
No.
Yeah, Eminem is kind of recent.
New Kids
Definitely
on the
part of our-
Block.
Popular when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay, good. These are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what do you recall as, like, what tech milestone sticks out in your mind? Do you remember more clearly? Like, I'll give you examples, like your first iPod or the first dial-up modem experience or Facebook launch. What sticks out as, whoa, this is something. What is this? Yeah.
Dial up.
Yeah.
Like I can still hear that sound in my head.
Yes.
You don't happen to remember your AOL
Oh,
Instant
yes.
Messenger
I sure
Yeah.
do.
name?
Sure
Do you
did.
remember
My
your-
handle was Chick AF 357.
Yes. Wow.
Mine was
okay.
GenDog 0927.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, great memory. All right.
Mine
I
was
bet you
not
can.
mine.
Handle, but
pivotal.
the chime for when you got a
Pivotal.
message is engraved in my brain.
Yep. That's
You
good.
got mail.
I remember when I got a computer with a CD burner on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was really. And one of my friends, I was in high school, one of my friends came over and he was like, we can burn CDs of music from this company called Napster. And
Totally
so
legal.
that's
Totally
when all
fine.
of my mixed CDs came around.
Which is
those were so
interesting
good.
because yesterday I talked to our Gen X folks. I said, "Tell me what was on your mixtape that you made your girlfriend or boyfriend on literal, dubbing." And that the next evolution for that would have been burning.
Yeah.
You're burning a mixtape for somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what's a piece of outdated technology that you secretly miss?
Oh, the iPod Shuffle.
Yes.
Okay.
My iPod Nano, that was hot
Clipped
pink.
right on your
Little tiny
shirt.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mini
yeah.
little iPod.
Okay.
What about the BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved
I
my
did love
BlackBerry.
the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
The full
You had the red one?
You physically.
I had a
feel
red
the
one.
keys. Okay. All right.
Love that.
Nice. Okay.
I didn't get rid of mine until it died in law school. I loved that thing.
Yeah, it was a
I
good
don't know. I loved my snake game on my Nokia.
Nokia.
Big old brick phone.
That game, that's true.
That's awesome.
Tetris. Yeah.
Tetris.
What is the most absurd millennial stereotype that you've heard? Lots of stereotypes about you guys coming up.
Like, what are some of the stereotypes?
I feel like people say we're lazy,
Yeah.
which we're not.
See, I say
Yeah.
that about the next one.
Oh, yeah. Well, all the stereotypes that are for millennials, we say about the next one for sure. It's,
So is that a
the first
ongoing
one?
trend?
Yeah, probably. The first one that comes to my mind was the go off to college and come back home.
Oh, yeah.
We use our parents as a safety net.
Okay.
Looking down this table, I feel like none of us fell into that category, but
No, but like even so, like even if you did come home after college, I feel like that's because you felt safe enough to do that. Your parents, like were like, yes, come back. You need to stay here for a few months and save up. We are welcome home to do that.
Yeah, it was kind of a defined, if we
Yeah.
came home, it was a defined transition
season.
period.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm here till I'm here, till not.
Indefinitely.
That was the healthy application of that. I think it was
Okay, good.
like the later millennials, and probably why we say, "Oh no, that's more like the next generation." Of the phrase ended up becoming the hammock instead of the safety net.
Yeah.
They come home and then move back in the parents' basement, and maybe don't get looking for that job that gets them out of the house and gets them their own place so quickly.
Okay, that's good. So if that's an absurd stereotype that you found not to be true, so what's one of the most accurate stereotypes that you're like, yeah, that's kind of us?
I think the way you summed it up when you read the summary, like towards the end, you said hunger for community. I think that kind of
Okay.
sticks home for me a little bit.
Good.
And authenticity.
Yeah.
You remember all that?
I just remember
Remember that
community and authenticity.
Okay.
The whole burnout thing, I feel like I resonate with that because I'm sure y'all were the same. Like, I had to work starting when I got my car. It was like, if you want a car and you want to put gas in it, you have to go to work. So I have had a job since I was 15, and now working and watching the next generation come in and just have such a different value about it that I identify with that a lot.
You know,
Where's the hustle game?
that's
Yeah,
what's that?
like we're always
Where's the
always
hustle?
working, always,
Hustlers, yeah.
and it bothers me that younger people don't have that same sense of drive. Yeah,
It's interesting because in doing some research and reading in preparation for the series one of the things that's said about y'all is that you are the ones who helped popularize a couple of phrases like self-care and work-life balance.
Yeah, I read that.
What was interesting is
Because we had to.
yeah,
We don't have it, though.
Yeah,
Because
so
we're still
how's it
seeking
working?
it.
So the question is, how's that
We're
working?
saying it.
'Cause you're still doing the hustle. You're still
Yeah.
trying to.
Right.
Now you got kids and you're doing the thing.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I remember, I've read a lot about how we were told when we were growing up, especially girls, like, you can do whatever you want. Don't worry about the stereotypes you've heard of women in the past. Do whatever you want to do, and you can have it all. And we talk now a lot about, well, maybe not all at the same time. And you've got to put one ball down while you're juggling in order to keep the other balls, and a continual calculus of what you can keep going and not, and what you're
Yes.
intentionally going to let go.
So we're gonna come back to that kind of comment here in just a minute because that's at the heart of some of what I want to hear from y'all about. What are you learning about what was sold to you and what you're now as full-on world citizen adults seeing for yourself is either true or not necessarily true. So we'll come back to that in a minute. So hang on to that. All right, a couple more fun lines here.
I went not
Blossom.
No, that's
Sorry.
perfect. We're gonna tease it out a little
now
bit.
we're depressed.
We're gonna tease. That's right.
Cheers to the room.
Finish these lines. So you can finish them the first. You've got.
Male.
I want my.
Baby back ribs.
That's so amazing. Do you know that yesterday when I said I want my to the Gen X MTV, I want my MTV.
Oh,
Yes, and I said to Laura last night, I said,
It's good, though. I
hey,
give
finish
it
this line. I said, I want mine. She goes, baby back, baby back, baby back. Baby back ribs. Okay, very interesting. All right, so in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
On the playground where I spent most of my days.
Okay, there you go.
right.
And I don't want to grow up. I'm a
Toys R Us kid.
Toys R Us kid, yeah.
There you go. All right, cool. All right,
R.I.P.
let's jump a little bit deeper.
Oh,
Millennials are
guess-
supposedly are supposed to value experiences over possessions. That's what we're told about you. That you value experiences more than material possessions. So, what's an experience that has actually changed you? Tell me about an experience in your journey that changed you afterwards, moving forward. I mean, we went from 0 to 75
Yeah.
miles an hour just now, but
Wow.
yeah,
so what kind of experience are we talking?
you
Like-
tell me. Yeah, something that after it happened, you're like, oh, now I see some things differently. Now there's the world is a little bit different because of this thing.
Well, for me, the one thing that sticks out is definitely 9/11. because I was living in New York at that time.
Were you?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Living in Brooklyn, New York.
You were in Brooklyn at that
Yeah,
time?
Brooklyn, New York, and I would commute to work. And I lived in Farmingdale. Worked in Farmingdale, New York. So when that happened, like I was literally trying to go in the office and deal with some stuff. I might get emotional,
That's okay. Yeah, yeah.
but yeah. So to me, after that happened, it was just a life-changing event, obviously for everybody involved, but even the folks that were not, in that event, it hit home.
What would you say that did in you if you were changed afterwards? What was the perspective difference after that?
Religion, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
religion.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Muslim faith.
Okay.
Yeah, and to see folks celebrate that, and that's my home. I didn't like that.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Sorry,
And thank you for sharing that. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that would change the trajectory, wouldn't it? Thank you.
It's definitely an event that I'm sure everybody here can distinctly remember where they were
Yeah.
when it happened. I still can't believe that my experience of it was I was a fifth grader and another teacher knocks on the door and the teachers converge in the hallway and then my teacher rolls out a TV and turns it on and right then we saw the second one.
Wow.
In our
remember that
classroom.
Exact same thing too. I was in class and I was actually in economics. So it was so relevant to what we were learning, but it was the exact same thing. My teacher went out into the hall to talk to somebody. And when he came back in, he shut the door, he turned on the TV and he barked at us to be quiet. And as soon as he turned it on, we watched and the second one came down.
Yeah.
And it was so weird though, like how much more you feel around that event the older we get, because I was a senior in high school. Like it was a big deal, but it got to be a bigger and bigger deal because you're there with your friends in high school. Like there's just so many other things that are just as important in that moment.
Yeah, and you don't really, it doesn't sink in, what is happening,
Right.
Probably more for you.
Yeah. For sure. Actually, I was stuck in Farmingdale for 3 days, but that's not the worst case scenario. Obviously, worst case scenario that happened. So, yeah.
Does anyone remember what it was like the day after? Because, I remember the day of very specifically, but, the day after, my mom and I actually went out and took pictures of all of the signs that people had put out, God Bless America, all of the flags. I think she still has my giant poster board that I made, and it hung in my middle school for a while of all of the pictures that we went out and took, because the world, the United States just came together and we were so united and so we love America. And I feel like it hasn't been like that for a long time.
Yep.
And it's sad to me that something so tragic had to happen for us to come together like that. But that's just, I remember that very specifically, just going out the next day and being like, this is beautiful. Look at all of this love that people are showing. And yeah, I had to photograph it.
What does a millennial, I know you can't speak for all millennials, but what do you as a millennial do to make meaning out of how far we've come since that day after in our world, our country? The sense of division, the sense of polarization, is very stark, the difference. So how do you put a frame around where we are now? Because you were there then and you're here now. How do you make sense of the journey that we've made, but from that kind of moment to the division that we all feel today?
I feel like I can't.
Well, I'm afraid that event might have contributed to that just as much as it contributed to the unity side of things. Because unfortunately, the other side of that was maybe something that you felt a little bit with the religion part of it, and it was very much a uniting for this country, but but unfortunately, there was just as much hatred that was forming for this other group that was pointed at as responsible for causing this kind of an event. And so I would say that unfortunately, we've seen many more examples of that hate getting pointed inappropriately to an entire group instead of key figures making that entire group look bad.
That's exactly what I was thinking, was that it fueled the us versus them mentality, and especially looking at everyone else, America as the us and everyone else as the them. And I think that's a lot of why we are where we are now.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I liked what you said there about the unity. I remember one thing that stuck out was I'm a big baseball fan. Remember when George Bush threw out that first pitch?
Yeah, the World Series.
Yeah, that was
powerful.
very, very powerful.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like nowadays, like the further we get away from it, it's like we don't necessarily forget. We know obviously it happens, but I feel like we're leaving ourselves more like vulnerable for it to happen again.
Sure.
The more we get away from it, and I don't want that to happen again. That's terrible.
Okay. So you all have obviously navigated major cataclysmic shifting events in the life of our church, life of our country, our world, like that. I mean, it barely gets bigger than that kind of thing. And here you are at the age where you are. My question is, what did you think you would have figured out by now that you have not yet figured out?
You're talking about relating to events like that, or you're
No,
just
in
new
general.
question?
But that event triggers a kind of, well, this world is not as I thought it was going to be. It could be unpredictable. It could be unsafe. It can be chaotic. But there are some things that you assumed you might have figured out by now that maybe you haven't yet. What's one of those things?
Interesting. How long do we pause for?
I know. I wish by now I had figured out how not to care. Like, I wish I was 20 years older where you just didn't care. Not what people think, but what they're doing over there. Like, it doesn't matter kind of thing. Like, we have a higher purpose, and I wish I was already there,
Okay.
but I'm not.
And by not care, say more about what you mean. I wish I about what they're doing over there. Say more about that.
Not let the decisions that other people are making affect how you react
Got it.
to them.
Okay.
Controlling my behavior is affected by how you're acting, even though
Okay.
it shouldn't affect the trajectory of my journey.
Okay. Do you think we learn that more as we age?
I do. I think it comes with seasoned wisdom, where you get used to not caring, and you.
Are you better at it now than you were?
Yes. Well, I
Okay.
think I'm more just aware of wanting to be that way.
Yes. And that's the
Aware of
beginning.
how I'm reacting, and aware of how it's affecting me, and wanting to do better.
Okay.
That's exactly what my friends who are older tell me about one of the benefits of getting older is that you care less about what people think, and you are able to hold those things a little bit more lightly so that they don't
Yes.
affect you as much.
Okay. I think
Can't wait
that's
for that.
I think that's very true. So, in the conversation I was having with the Gen Z folks, the word I used for this kind of thing is called, so Ignatius called it holy indifference, is being able to say, it's not that you don't care, but it's that I recognize I can hold some things loosely because I can't change them, or I can't control it, And I asked them about that, and I'd like to get your reaction to something. In talking to them, I learned that that the total saturation of information from the time they were born until now, total saturation, never not a time. Y'all came up in an analog childhood and then were introduced to the digital world. They never have known anything other than total saturation of information, events, what's happening, awareness, this people group, that crisis, this global thing, this climate thing. And one of them said out loud, I just wish I didn't know it all. And they are the most highly anxious generation that we've recorded in modern history. And we talked about everybody wants to raise awareness. Maybe we need to lower awareness on some things. Do you? How does that information impact what Jenny has just said about learning slowly to not care, to hold it loosely? Are you able to manage what you are aware of, what you let get in? What's the gatekeeper on how much you let into your world that begins to own you?
I have certainly taken affirmative steps to limit how much late-breaking news I am made aware of. So
Okay.
I've unsubscribed to a lot of emails. I used to listen to, news radio every morning on the drive to work, and I stopped because it put me in quite a state before my workday.
Okay.
So I certainly feel that from Gen Z and have tried to quiet some of that noise and replace some of those things, right? Like instead of reading the news first thing, I'm going to do something else.
Okay. Good.
I do think it's hard to resist all of the information because kind of supporting the bio that you read, like we didn't have all this information for the first half of our lives, and the second half, like of course we're hungry for it, and we don't even realize that we're soaking it all up because we've never had access to that before. But then then you quickly realize that you either don't need it or that you don't want it or that it's affecting you negatively.
It's not good for me.
But then how do you teach yourself that here's something you've never had before, you don't need it. You don't need to try it, or you don't, because most of the world is lapping it up.
Yeah.
I think that's hard.
Right.
Yeah, very true. I like that, and I think for us, what makes us great, or at least me,
Yes.
sorry, all of us, we choose to turn things off. We can do that, So whatever you subscribe to, that's you can still have the power to turn it off and on. So I don't have Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't. So I don't really, I could sign up for one and get all the hooplas and the Twitters and all that good stuff.
The
I don't-
hoopla.
But then how do you know if soccer practice is canceled, or how do you know that the school, like so much of our world is on social media?
Yeah, that's true.
That if
true.
you have something, like if you get off of it, then you're out of the loop. Like I have tried a couple times, but with the job that I have to be on social media, or so that's what they're telling me.
Well, like even my kids' school stuff.
Good.
That's what I
It's
mean.
like on social media now.
So much of it, if you don't,
like that.
if you're not following them on Facebook or Instagram, then I'm going to miss that tomorrow is Spirit Day, or that tomorrow you should, buy ice cream. I'm going to miss that. And I guess you could look at it to say like, well, you're not missing out, but like some of it's important, and that's the avenue of communication that they've chosen. So you almost sometimes are
you're-
handicapped. Like I bet your wife has Facebook.
Yeah, she does.
See?
She does. And with that said, I have an answer to the question that I didn't, the previous question.
Good. Let's hear it.
Kids. I wish I'd have figured out a way to have kids a lot earlier than now. I'm 43 and my baby's 4. And you have, she has 4 kids,
5.
right?
3.
I mean, three kids. And so you're well ahead, and I feel like you got that figured out, where I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So that, to me, I feel like I'm way behind on that.
Who's going to lead you, the generation, out of this system that you're describing, which is, I want out, but I won't have the information about my kids, and I won't have the, I'll be missing something, and therefore they'll miss something, and then I can't tolerate that. And so who leads your generation out of that?
Hopefully Jesus.
Okay, well, there you go. That's a great answer. Yeah. No, I mean, so is it your kids?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it needs to be the next generation. They need to start working harder.
That's right.
Say, when you figure it out, let us know.
Yeah, right.
We have done all the work till now. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Are
It's
we
so
the,
interesting.
Are we the FOMO generation? Is that
Oh,
that
for
part of our
sure.
issue?
Sure, sure.
Because all that technology was getting developed in our influential years, and so we have that feeling that we have to keep up with it or we'll fall behind.
You have to buy it.
Does that lead into that feeling of, well, we need to be in the know for everything?
I think
and
so.
it's that notification overload.
Yes.
I'm curious what that looks like on a systemic level, because anecdotally, you're choosing not to hit these platforms. When I was talking to Gen Z, they were in the middle of talking about this, and my son, who was a guest on the panel, he said he pulled out his flip phone. He said,
His new flip phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I got out. And then that conversation took a whole new, because he chose, and he's like, our parents can't help us out because they don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, they didn't know, and so they can't show us how to get out of it. It's literally what he said. So I'm curious if maybe that's where we learn from
Yeah.
those who have more freedom somehow than we think that they do. I don't know.
I was thinking them as well as the market fluctuations, right? Consumer products. People are buying things to house devices and putting locks on them.
Okay.
So they're going to be enough of the younger generation that starts patronizing these things that set the boundaries that our generation is unable to set.
Okay.
And that will help, hopefully,
Yeah.
change the tide for us.
Okay. I learned yesterday, or didn't learn yesterday, but yesterday was the first day of school for many, and Forsyth County has a new policy all the way through high school. No phones, no Apple Watches, no devices at all, which is a huge systemic shift that may actually become a friend to this problem, may become a friend, a pathway out.
And we have a lot, because I work in a school, so we have a lot of parents that actually have issues with that are probably our age.
I've seen lots of
Okay.
issues.
that are like,
Okay.
how am I supposed to
How am I
contact my
supposed to-
kid
Yeah.
in the middle of the day? And I'm like, you're not. You can email the teacher or you can call the front office like my parents used to do when I was in school.
That's right. Nobody contacted me during the school day.
No
When
one.
I was 11 years
They need to be
old.
learning.
If they did something was wrong.
They left a note on the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
Saw it when you got home.
You track your steps.
That's right. That's right. How do you track your steps? That's right. All right. This actually is a decent segue to my next question. What is the source of your greatest anxiety right now?
My greatest thing,
Put it down.
the source.
Source of your greatest anxiety, where you are in the stage of life and where you are in your line of sight to the world, to your kids, your marriage, all the things.
The safety of my children.
Okay. All right.
Full stop.
Yep. Okay.
At school, around other adults, around other kids, around phones, social media. The safety of my children.
Safety.
Yes, that for sure. But also for me, money. Feeling that safety, because I struggle.
Okay. Sure. Fear of, will it be enough, and will I have security? Will I have security? Okay. Thank you.
All good ones.
Yeah.
For me, it's being a role model to my baby. Just making sure that I'm a person that she looks up to, and like he's a great example for me, and not just do all the silliness I do, in front of her. But so that's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah, that's why I can't wait for her to actually be around kids in school, so that way, and teachers that are, went to school to actually teach and mold these kids, versus just everything that I know I could just like basketball, like the Knicks, Yankees.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, we need to get together.
Easy. Yeah. In fact, maybe it's best you introduce her to other people.
Let's put her in
Yeah.
school this year.
That's great.
She's gonna be singing in the choir and all that good stuff, like Riley. So
Wonderful.
let's do it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
sure.
Anybody else? Any other anxiety?
I mean, I will second kids and money, and I think they go hand in hand. Being anxious to keep my kids healthy and safe and happy. I do worry about their safety, but I really worry about their little hearts, and like, are they making friends, and are they making good friends, and are they, being the light? And I really stress out about that. But money is huge. Being able, like all the chatter about being prepared for their future
Yeah.
is very scary, and you feel like you could never have enough to
Yeah.
do what they need to do. So
Well, you guys know my dad had a heart attack on Easter Sunday. And so I had certainly taken his vitality for granted because he was very active. And I definitely worry about my parents' health and my friends' parents' health, even. That we shouldn't take it for granted, and we never know, and an emergency can happen at any time. That's also abutting my concerns for my children.
Have these anxieties, well, it's a silly question. It's an obvious answer, I'm sure, but so I'll change how I ask it. So how has your anxiety or fear evolved as you've grown, as you've aged?
now I know there's books out there to help.
I think for me, it's still ongoing, but I see a light at the in the tunnel, meaning I'm letting go and just trusting, letting it play out.
Okay.
Don't bring tomorrow's troubles into today. Today has its own troubles, so I just do what I can control, and provide and be a good example, and just let everything play out.
I'm a lot more willing to admit them, right? Instead of just being upset and having turmoil inside of me, I'm a lot more willing to say, this is really upsetting me, or I'm really worried about this.
Okay. All right. Good.
And having like friends that you're going through the same stage of life with, that you can turn to and talk to and have those deep conversations with, outside of like talking to your spouse or your parents about it. You can turn to a friend and talk to them about it and kind of understand that they're going through the same struggles that you are too.
That may have some serious overlap to where we're going to go in just a minute about
Yeah,
the
no,
need for. So who is that for you, and where do you find that, and what is community? So we're going to come back and circle to that in a second. But first, I want to read a couple of statements that are made by people who study us. Like Barna and Pew and Gallup and the people who do the thing that do
The survey people.
The survey people, yeah. And I just want you to react to it. First reaction, not everybody has to answer, just immediate gut though. Millennials are often called the entitled generation. How do you respond to that? Yeah?
No.
I could see it in my I could see it comment is the we see in our teenage years maybe what our parents had, and straight out of college think I need to get to there as soon as possible. And so I've seen it with not us specifically, but other people where they feel like they deserve to have that kind of level of income straight out of college, or these possessions, maybe it is, and without putting in the work over the years. That's looking back, 10, 15 years in that scenario. I see it with younger coworkers that I work with. I feel like it's the next generation down is truly the entitled.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go back further than that, because I remember coming out of college and just taking whatever they were going to give me, because it was a job, a real job.
Okay.
And then comparing that to what people ask for now coming out of college, I'm like,
Yeah.
how ballsy of you.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah, definitely not entitled. I mean, I worked for every single thing I got, and I'm still working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a workhorse. Work ethic is superb,
Okay.
and
Driving
yeah,
tomorrow.
Every day.
I feel like we're more humble than entitled. And let's just,
Yeah, I go with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should be very proud of your humility.
You're not supposed to say that.
good.
We at
Very
this
good.
table are also not representing the hammocks as far as.
That's right. That's right. Okay, next question, or next statement. Millennials are not anti-faith, the context of this is a lot of your peers were the first in mass waves to leave the church. Okay, for a number of reasons, which are parts of other studies. But this statement: millennials are not anti-faith; they're anti-hype, anti-hollow, anti-hurt. They're searching for substance.
I agree with
We
that.
don't go to mega churches.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Where has any of that played out for you personally, where you have felt a distaste for some of the hype, the hollow, the even some of the church hurt, whatever, you know? Where have you personally seen that?
I mean, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I feel like I'm getting to know you guys, you know, so thank you for this experience. But this is the first, you know, church that I've been a member of. So I feel like I'm growing in the faith and I'm learning. So like past years, I was just going about my days and not really knowing what direction, you know, especially confused, you know, Islam, you know, do this and prayer and I wasn't really doing it. I was just doing it because somebody was telling me to do it. I understand it. I had questions, you know, they wouldn't answer. So after I kind of went on my own, that's when I started, you know, piecing together, finding information. So to me, I mean, right now where I'm at now, it's a good place religion-wise.
It's good to hear. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Thank you.
I remember being disappointed in the letdown of this is because I guess growing up in my church youth group was sort of the onset of when that worship personality began, and it was so much fun as a teenager. And then you go to college and people still go to stuff like that, but it was more because that's what everybody's doing. And I was doing it because I mean, I'm a Christian and I want to do that and I want to have that in my life. But then after college, it takes on a different personality, and I don't know, you just there's nothing behind it to me. There's no community unless you're the same as me. And if you are going through something, ooh, that's too serious kind of thing. So it's sort of like this, oh, we're all doing this and it's because it's cool, trendy. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty of growing, it kind of drops off. And then you kind of look around and like nobody's really going anymore. So it's, to me, it kind of like shifts, and coming back to a church like this, which is very similar to the church I grew up in, it sort of was, it felt like a hug, like, oh, this is what I remember loving about church and about community, and that we are all very different, even though we're chasing the same thing together. And I feel like that's missing from that big production experience. That's more of like, I can come and be a face in the crowd and sit in the back, check the box, sing the songs that are fun, but like, there's nothing past that. So you're not, there's no growth beyond that.
Where do I bring my suffering? Who can I show my
You bring it when the
wound to,
lights
my
are down,
scars
all
to?
alone.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, the
thank you.
anonymity was the word that I was
Yes.
thinking of. And I think what you described, looking around a church and not knowing anyone sitting around you and feeling like it was, okay, well, then I have to find a way to serve or to participate further, or else I'm never going to know anyone that's around me. And that's very different at this church. Everywhere I go, someone is saying hello to me. And people know me that I don't even know yet. They've heard of me, or they've heard my name, or they know one of my children, and they say, oh, I have your child in so-and-so environment. That's a very different level of connectivity.
Yeah, like you're known. You're known. We might not know you well yet, but like you're known. You're not just a number. You know, that's been really important to me.
Okay. So the next question I'm going to ask is about, now we're moving a little bit more deeply into church experience now. A word that's popular and I think helpful these days to talk about people who have left the church, like leaving religion, walking away from church. One of the words that's used is deconstruction.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah. So it's a word, that has a lot of history to it, and it's actually began outside the church itself, talking about deconstructing the structures of life that were handed to you and so on, and reconstructing but in church, in many ways, you inherit a kind of faith that's handed to you, right? In some ways, if you grow up in the church. Even if you're not, you go and you have your first experience in church, even as a young person or a young adult or whatever. You're introduced to faith, but then some things happen that cause you to need to what's called deconstruct, to deconstruct parts of what was handed to you to make sure you own it yourself. Is this mine? Does this fit? Is this me, really? And in the deconstruction seasons of our life, we sometimes jettison some things that were handed to us because it no longer fits. But then we hang on to some things that fit stronger and more than we thought they did, So my question to you is, in your spiritual journey that you've have been making, what have you had to deconstruct and or reconstruct from the faith that you've inherited?
I've done a lot of that.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that. When I have encountered people that I have been told were sinful or unworthy of God's love, I had to examine my faith and say, is that what my faith taught me? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? I don't know about that. And yes, I've analyzed some of the theological arguments for things, but a lot of what I did was think about, okay, what is non-negotiable in my faith, right? And what is non-negotiable? I want my children to know, okay, Jesus loves you. He died for your sins. That's it. These are, it's a very short list. It's very short. And I have had to think, okay, these are the non-negotiables. We're supposed to love one another, period. And when I'm not sure, or when I'm faced with a situation or a person, a neighbor that I have historically been told is not someone I should be with, or I should be friendly to, or I should be, I can wave, but that's about it. I've thought a lot about, no, I think I need to love them.
Okay.
And loving them, what does that look like? That looks like talking to them. That looks like inviting them. That looks like treating them as someone for whom Jesus died.
Okay.
And reminding myself of that.
Very good. Being their neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jen.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I do think it's interesting coming at your faith as a parent now, because now you're not only growing yourself, but now you're having to explain it to your kids, which is wild. I'm not qualified. But that is my default. I don't know if this person is right or wrong. I don't know how they should be and this is very juvenile kid stuff we're talking about, but I don't know what should be their punishment, but our only job is to be their friend. Our only job is to love them. We are not in charge of if it was bad or good, how bad it was, how much time out they should sit in. We're not in charge of all of that. All our job is to love them. You don't have to do what they do, but that is the only thing that Jesus asked of us, was to love him and love them. And so to me, that has simplified my own faith as a grown-up, because I'm like, duh. I'm making it difficult sometimes.
Sure. Okay.
The message got cloudy.
Well, just, yeah, there's too many things we're trying to think about and justify and make right in our minds. But if you get down to it, we don't have to worry about all of that if all we're supposed to do is love.
Okay. Good. Others? What else have you had to deconstruct or reconstruct in order to make sure you're hanging on to a faith that has integrity and that you authentically can call your own?
I think for me, I'm growing into it. Because you can imagine growing up, Jesus was not the Son of God. He was just a messenger, prophet from God that was sent to spread his word, just like all other prophets, right?
Sure.
And really letting that go and believe in like he is the Son of God, and he really is our Lord, and he died for our sin, to save the world. I'm not like, I had to like literally, it's still a battle sometimes because it's not, it's not there yet. I mean, I feel like it's there, and I'm building on that foundation.
And then, that is interesting to me because the premise to my question was, what have you had to deconstruct in your Christian theology?
Right. And then
But deconstruction is a human thing, which means you have had to deconstruct what you were told about Christian theology. You had to deconstruct your Islamic theology that has put you to a place where now your experience with him and with his people have caused you to deconstruct what you were told and receive something new life, in a way that you
said it so much better.
No. I'm grateful that you revealed the flaw in my premise to the question, right? So that's
There was an
strong.
assumption there.
That's right. That's very strong. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You all feel free to kick in. I'm going to keep asking questions though. You can go back and answer that one if you don't like the next one. So
The fun one's going to come back.
the fun one's going to come back. We'll see. All right. Do you have any friends who left the church? By leaving the church, I mean walk away from faith. And why do you think they left? Was it for some of these reasons that we're talking about? Some of the ones that you've identified already?
I mean, hypocrisy is the number one thing that I hear when I talk to people about that.
Okay.
The leader of so-and-so faith or so-and-so church or elected leader says one thing and does a different thing, and I don't want to be aligned with that, and I don't want to be a part of that. And, you can only say so many times, well, nobody said that all of the church leaders were going to be perfect. That is actually not in the Bible. I'm pretty clear on that. But it's still, that's a big one.
So you've had a lot of folks who have been burned and a lot of friends who've been burned and walked away from those kind of experiences. Okay. All right.
It's agreeing.
Why have you stayed? Because you have been exposed to church hurt before. You've been exposed to hypocrisy before. You've been exposed to the same things. What was the difference? Why did you stay? While friends of yours may have decided my only option is to walk away.
I mean, I hate to say this, but like I don't really feel like I've experienced church hurt yet.
Okay.
Please don't let me.
We won't.
Don't let me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Stick with us.
So far, so far so good.
Good.
Yeah, but I do hear it from other folks. Like I was talking to my safety manager this afternoon, and he said, because we were talking about deacons, and that letter that came in the mail and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Right.
And I told him about this, and he goes, yeah, I used to be involved in church, and I want to get back. I'm like, why did you leave?
Yeah.
And then he said, because he was a greeter, and with his wife, they were both greeters, and some of the members came in and they acknowledged him, but didn't acknowledge his wife at all. And it wasn't just one, person or one couple. It was multiple people.
Culture of that particular place.
And his wife felt a certain way, and he was on board, and they left. Yeah.
Okay.
They missed the love one another memo.
Yeah.
Okay.
The story makes me hurt for her.
I know.
I do have another question, and this will be fun. So in our church, we have what we call our 7 core values. We've talked about this for a long, long time. These are 7 things that we say are important in our church. And we have, whether we've articulated them this way or not, we've felt these things are important for decades. This is who we are. It's kind of what makes us who we are. These 7 core values. I'm going to pass you a copy. Now, obviously, you can read all about these online. There's a whole paragraph. There are scriptures that describe them. But take one of these and look and pass it on. And then I have a question for you.
I remember them from breakfast.
From the breakfast, yeah, the Let's Eat breakfast. That's it.
Yes.
You listen.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, I can't recite them to you.
Okay.
How many things do I remember?
All right. So these are the 7 that we say kind of make us who we are here. So excellence in the worship of God, theological depth and diversity, authentic Christian community, the gospel of Jesus Christ and the growth of his church, responsible Christian stewardship, congregational courage, and a missional consciousness where every member is mobilized to serve. So if those are the 7 things that we say are important, and we believe that they are equally important, in other words, we value them in a way that is, we hold all of them up. And you can't have one without the other, really. But we're going to play a game here for a moment. If you, based on your line of sight, your experience, your station in life, the things we've been talking about, the church hurt that some of your friends have been through, the things that you've seen, would say there's only one of these that matters more than the others. And if you could only pick one up off the page and say, this has to be in my church, and I forced you to do that, what would you say?
I'll go first if you don't mind. One thing that stands out for me is the gospel of Jesus Christ and the growth of his church.
Yeah. Okay. Why would you say that one?
Because he's the man.
He's the man?
Yeah.
That's the
Jesus
whole
Christ.
point.
You can't
That's
have
it.
any of the other things without that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know,
Good. Okay. Very good. Others. By the way, there's no right answer on this pop quiz. I mean, that's a pretty darn good answer, but I'm not fishing for one particular answer or other thoughts. So.
My first thought, as far as people that we know who may have left the church, I would say that COVID played a big role, and it was people that got used to not showing up. So my eyes went straight to the authentic Christian community, because I can't help but to think that that's what they were missing to begin with, and that's without that they weren't drawn to be a part of that community again.
Okay.
Well, and I agree with your definition at the outset that authenticity is a highly valued proposition in our generation. And so that is appealing to me both personally as well as our generation is really focused on that. And I don't want to spend time in artificial scenarios with people who don't really care.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's good. I love that phrase. I don't want to spend time, because at this point in your journey, you've lived long enough and have enough scar tissue to prove there is no time to waste upon what is not real, right? That's what I hear you saying. So, others.
or like the next generation would say, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. That's right. Next generation, nothing. That's what I say. I'm the old guy at the table. All right. Others? You ready for another? I want to get another reaction to a statement or two here. Feel free. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah. So I'm picking and choosing.
Where's the good one?
Yeah, here's a good one. Okay. Millennials want a church to be a safe place for their doubts, not a place that demands instant certainty. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's one of the reasons that I've enjoyed our Sunday school here, because don't y'all feel like so many of the seminar leaders we've had reiterate that point that, like, let's talk about that, or like, haven't you ever thought, like, I just feel like it's a common theme that they open the floor up for discussion of not even if it's doubts, but just like, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? And have you ever thought about it this way? And I think that's
Okay.
And that there's not a right answer that they're searching
Right.
for, that there are boundaries of acceptable answers, and
sometimes there's more eloquent ones, but
that fair. But that the non-negotiables, as long as we keep that kind
Yeah.
of those close to our vests, that
Right. Because now say something about that. I wouldn't plan to ask this, but I think this would be important because the viewers who are going to be watching this are the rest of the generations. And while I think everybody's picking up what you're putting down there about, there's a space for multiple answers and let's come to that sense of truth together. But what you say about, as long as the non-negotiables are there, say something to the world about how millennials do have some level of expectation that we have something in common, right? So how do you define how wide a berth you can give to whatever you want to, interpret or believe. How do you judge the boundaries of a safe place to bring your doubts and your beliefs, and there's no one right answer, because there will be some generations curious as to, well, if that's the case, so why are we at this church and not another church? What makes us and us? How would the millennial mind respond to that kind of question? And you were kind of touching on it already, so I'm kind of feeding it a little bit. But.
Well, and when we were, we've only been a part of this church for a year and a half or so. And one of the things we did was look at different church websites and see what they had on them and what they didn't say, right? Because that told us a lot about what was negotiable and what was not. And so long as the gospel of Jesus Christ and the growth of his church is the number one priority, then what church environment aligns itself around that and loving one another the most, right? And that's part of that authentic Christian community, I think, is definitely part of that. But that's, for us, when we were looking, it was, what are you saying about these couple of core things? What are you not saying on your website?
Right.
And then when we got here, when we visited, did you mean the stuff that you said or didn't say on your website?
Was it truth in advertising?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's so good to hear. so glad to hear.
Stephanie will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, she would be. That's very good. All right. Another statement. The thing is, you've already answered some of these before I've even read them to you. Millennials don't need a church that entertains them. They need a church that engages them in mission. If the church wants to reach millennials, it must trade hierarchy for authenticity and certainty for honest exploration, right? Curiosity. So let me take it just one step further here. Where do you feel the most spiritually alive? Where do you feel the most spiritual? What makes you feel the most spiritually alive? And know that I'm not looking for a particular church answer, because obviously that answer would be the sermons, right? I mean, clearly. No, but where do you feel most spiritually alive in your journey with Jesus?
I think for me, it just seems like the more I grow in faith, the more just things start kind of opening up and just become clearer, and worries kind of just, again, go away and just focus on that day-to-day stuff. I feel like I'm becoming a model to my baby, simply because I've been, kind of in church a lot more and volunteering, Sundays.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you as well. Even doing VBS, that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
No problem. Those bugs are delicious, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, just doing stuff like that kind of just has been, I guess, solidifying me into the faith.
Okay.
And walking with Jesus.
So showing up is what I hear.
Yeah,
you
showing
saying.
up. Yeah,
Showing up.
Showing up,
Yeah.
and not just be at worship, but like give you time to children and
Okay.
just everything around.
Good.
Yeah.
I felt the same way, but I saw it in my mind when you said that, when you asked that question. I saw it, and I saw it in the faces of my little We Praise kids when they are singing "To God Be the Glory," and when they are being joyful and expressing their love of Jesus and learning to worship. Like that's when it's right there.
Okay.
For me, this may be a big surprise.
Oh, no,
but
tell us.
Mine's their song, their
Absolutely.
singing, and I have to check my ego, my personal ego, a lot, because when I sing solos on stage, it's not for show; it's for the glory of God. And people are like, "Oh, you have a beautiful voice." Well, thank you, but I always say, He's the one that gave it to me. And that's, my main reason. I grew up my whole life performing on stage for an audience, but now I want to give my voice to the Lord because He's the one who blessed me with that talent. And so being able to be up there and worship to others through song is how I worship
alive.
and
Yeah.
feel alive.
Thank
And
you. Okay.
No, you are great. Seriously, you do have a great voice, and we see it. We see it.
But on
it's not just. Yeah.
When you're up there with a solo, we can tell that it is truly meaningful
Right.
to you singing it. It's not just this is the song that Monty asked me to sing, so I guess I'll sing it. We who are worshiping with you can see it too, and I think that helps really drive the meaning of the words that you're singing. So thank you for doing it.
And sometimes I do wonder, like, your husband, like, what is he thinking when you're out there just belching it out? Is he saying,
He's jealous.
"That's my baby"?
My baby. That's my girl.
Yeah. What is he saying?
That's my girl.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
good.
I think about that.
Gotta be.
We talk about that in choir, that it is so meaningful to sing together when you know that the people around you mean what they're singing.
yeah, we have that saying, we are family. You know?
And they mean
Shows.
the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
I was just thinking on Sunday how I was like watching so much of the choir and like you and Brad sing with like such expression on your face, and Finley, obviously you do too. And I look around and the whole choir is singing with so much personality that I think that's unique here.
Very genuine. Okay. Anybody else? Where do you
Well,
feel
I
alive?
agree. Coming here is when I feel most spiritually alive, and it's because of the friends that I've made here. It's because of the worship that we do. It's because it feels like my church growing up a little bit. It's because my kids are growing. All that.
Yeah, and to see him like recite the verse of the day is really nice. Really
Like-
nice.
There's like another thing for me too is like I grew up at this church. Like this is the only church I have ever known. And so like now, not only am I still coming here, but like I also met my husband here, and we got married here, and now we're bringing our children here, and I'm watching them grow up and go to the same classrooms that I went to as a kid, and like it's just so cool.
It is cool.
Rare.
It's very rare.
It's not common. It's rare to be able to say what you're saying right now. That's a gift. Spencer, how about you? Where do you feel alive?
My mind went to my involvement with the youth group and thinking about when we're on retreats and
Oh yeah, that's right.
the same thing. It's same thing with the singing, and when as the group leaders we're singing, we want to set the example, but our singing doesn't make the youth in our group sing themselves. But when we look around the room and they are authentically worshiping as a youth group, it hits me every time.
Okay. That's
You do the
strong.
passports too, right?
on your songs.
Oh, thanks.
So-
It's a joyful noise. That's what I think.
Joyful noise. Okay. Next question or two we're getting close to the last questions. So it is incredibly encouraging hearing the things that you all are saying. As the pastor of this church, hearing your insights about what you think is important in church, it encourages me more than really what this interview is all about. It so really does. So a new question that is really not on the script to ask you. So when it comes to the future of our church and the continued health and flourishing and vibrancy of our church, what is it that needs to happen to make sure that millennials are nurtured into the leadership of this church? I don't mean what can we do to make sure we have your needs met. What I'm asking is, you all are representing a spiritual maturity and depth that I would be proud for people to know about this church. So what does it take? What would it take? What is it going to take to make sure that we, in a healthy and sustainable way, nurture millennials into leadership into this church?
I mean, a lot of why I have the spiritual thoughts that I do is because of how I grew up. And so I've thought a lot, and this is a preview to the women's event because I'm going to talk about this. But when I think about the women, especially who were in my life, but also men in my church who spoke into me and helped me grow and develop my faith in all kinds of ways, right? huge. The impact is, I could not properly convey the impact of that on my faith. So I think that the future of our church depends a lot on that partnership between our generations, right? And people who are already leaders finding the people of our generation and saying, let's partner together, let's do this together. I'm going to show you how I did it, and we'll make it yours.
Yeah, nothing has made me feel compelled to come back more than the little old ladies that know my name that sit next to us in church, or the people that have watched Mary Thenie grow up. Like, when people that are not in your circle of influence know your name and know who you are and know your family, that's empowering. And it makes you want to take the next step, and it makes you want to have some sort of ownership over this place too, because you feel like, oh, I'm part of this place.
Good.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think doing stuff outside of church as well. Like we had the run.
Yeah.
There's a 5K
Oh, when you won
walk.
the golf tournament.
Yeah. And by the way,
October 24th is the next run.
yes, I already signed up.
I did win first place in
Yeah.
my age group last year.
You did?
Oh, very nice.
I know Spencer did too, but
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Okay, all right.
I did want some golf. And we did some golf. I partner up with Gary and we won that event too.
Okay.
no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, doing stuff outside to just because it's fun seeing people outside of church attire and
Great.
you know
Street clothes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, man, what's going on? So I saw Robin at Home Depot, and you know I got an extra bag of soil. I'm like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Was that Robin?
That's good.
Yeah, but just doing stuff outside is really nice. And I'm gonna share this with you. Yesterday I was in the garage with my my baby. So I've converted the garage to like a man cave. I got a TV in there, I got a couch and everything. So yesterday we were doing some stretches, you know, because LG TV comes with like that fitness app thing. So we were doing that, me and her at the yoga mat. And then Miss Val calls me.
Who?
Miss Val.
Val.
Okay. Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, hello?
Uh-huh.
I said, howdy. And she goes, hey, am I interrupting anything? I'm like, no, just me. We're just having a good old time. She goes, I have to tell you something. I was like, what's going on? She goes, I don't need an answer now, but I want to nominate you for deacon. And I go, wait, what? What do you mean? And she's telling me about the letter, right? And I went out to the mailbox and I saw it. And she goes, I prayed about it and you're the first person that came to mind. I'm like, wow,
Okay.
that's amazing. I didn't even know like what that is. And you know, and where to start. And I was like, tell me more about it. And she started telling me about it. But that kind of, you know, pulling, you know, folks in.
Encouragement. Believing in you.
Right.
Okay.
And then it had me. I started thinking about it. I'm like, would I be okay? Like, what do I need to do? Like, you know, do you see me that? Hey, Susie, do you see me being a deacon?
If Val says you are.
Yeah, Val.
I'm just, yeah, but you know, you gotta. She even said, hey, talk to Susie.
Yeah.
Talk to your family. You know, that you. So just you know, bringing those folks in, ownership. You know, I think that ties in.
Okay. It's fascinating how everybody's answer has something to do with a relationship.
Definitely
The
relationship.
leadership, nurturing leadership has something to do with a relationship you have with someone in this church. And I just think that's beautiful. All right, last question.
Oh,
Drum roll.
Drum roll, last question. What is one prayer that you have for this church when you think about its future and its your desire for it to grow and flourish and be healthy, vibrant? What is one prayer that you have for this church?
I mean, one prayer like the Lord's Prayer is one prayer, but it's got a lot in it.
Exactly.
Or
Right. Yeah. So, in other words, one something that you hope for this church, that we become, that we don't stop being, that we would try. You know, what is one prayer that you think?
I pray a lot about that. This will still be the place that we go when my kids are older. Like, I want them to be in the youth group and all of that here. And so I pray a lot that our church will be recognized as something that's different, so that when my kids are growing, that their friends will see that this is not like all these other places, and that will, like, I pray for that very specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I feel like I pray for it to continue to be in a home to, not just me, but like newcomers, and just to keep that going and have it be a safe place and not an intimidating place. Like when I first thought about this whole deacon thing, like it was kind of intimidating at first, but then, just talking to Val, she's made it seem like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. So it's like, it's still a home, and yeah, so just continue to be that, a safe space for folks and not be an intimidating thing.
All right. Others?
I feel like Spencer and Finley need to weigh in because you guys have been going here for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's for the children. They are our future of the church. And I pray about that a lot, like growth, new families coming in, whether it's young or, older kids. And it's hard for me because we live in such a different world now than when I was in the youth group here. But like, I look at what it used to look like and what the numbers used to look like. And it's hard that I don't see that now. And I worry about that for my kids one day. Will it be enough? And then I have to remind myself, like, it's different from when I was younger. The world has changed. My children are growing up in a different world than I did. And yes, it will be enough for them, but I do pray for them and for their future in the church because, like I said, they are our future. They will be the ones, hopefully, teaching communities one day.
Right. Okay.
Sure, I'll weigh in. It's, honestly, very similar to everybody else's. I don't have children yet, so mine isn't specifically for my own children, but I'm thinking about the generations below us, those that may be less represented that we see in our church body, and that they find us and value the same things that we value here. I think this applies to anybody in our community or in our faith, and these values are not found at all the churches in the area. So my prayer is definitely that that those generations below us know that we're here, take an opportunity to come into this building and see the love that we've built through these values, and I see that as the continued growth in our church and moving through the generations.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Jen, did you have one more? Or did I interrupt you
Other than
earlier?
the
Or
Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer.
Other
Okay,
than
it's
the Lord's Prayer?
multiple
Yeah.
layers.
Other than the Lord's
Okay.
Prayer.
All right.
I have one more.
Well, yeah.
The diversity in this church is amazing.
Okay.
Like, honestly, like you just looking at everybody and the choir, the kids. I mean, it's amazing. Like, we have all kinds of people here.
Right.
So, hopefully that continues.
Amen. Amen
Sure.
to that.
The way I think about it is I found what I was looking for in this church. And the next step of that is inviting other people to join it, right? And so I always want it to be my prayers that it's always a safe and loving place that I can invite people to.
Okay. Great responses, gang. So that ends our questions. I'm going to say a prayer in just a minute. Before I do, though, I tell you, this has been such an encouraging conversation with you. And I'm so grateful for each one of you and your authentic responses and the place where you are in this journey in this church. I'm very proud to be your pastor. And so let me say a word of prayer, and then we'll give you a couple other instructions. But let me say thanks now, though. God, I just want to take a moment to pray for these leaders in this church, these who love you and live like it. And I pray for each of their families. I pray for their their highest hopes and for their deepest anxieties and fears. And I pray that you would continue to prove to them why it is they can put their trust in you, and why you have been cultivating in them this faith and this love that is so very obvious, so very evident in this dialogue. I thank you for bringing each one of them and their entire family to this church. I thank you for the strength of this congregation because of individuals like these who are around this table and the families they represent. We pray your blessings over each one. And I pray that you would continue to nurture your call upon each one as they love you and serve you by paying attention to each other and loving the other members of this congregation and this community. We pray that in your most beautiful and holy name. Amen.
Amen.
All right.